Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the second thing I made, because the first thing I made is not with us anymore. I broke it, a sad story. But before we get to the actual video, I want to say that there is no real schedule to these uploads. It's pretty much whenever I want to talk about something, or whenever I make something, I'll record it and either put it on Instagram or YouTube. So today we're going to be talking about the second thing that I made, and that is a round shield. So before we get to showing you the round shield, I want to talk about the backstory of why I wanted to make it. The first thing I made was pretty much just a wooden axe that stood almost as tall as me. And I thought, hey, why don't we have a shield to go with it? That's pretty much the thought process behind it. So what I did is I took the Captain America shield that I bought, which is another video. In fact, it's going to be the next video after this one, so stay tuned for that. And I traced it out onto some thin wood laminate. It's like 3 thin pieces of wood. They're just squished together to make like an 1/8 inch wood sheet. And I cut that circle out on a bandsaw. And then I dremeled out some lines on the shield to make it look like plywood instead of, or I made it look like boards instead of just one big circle. Then what I did is I took the back of it, and from inspiration, there was a guy at the Heritage Festival before it was called Ipsy Fest, and I think he's still there. He has a stand that is filled to the brim with wood and leather stuff that he's made for like kids and in my case teenagers, because I went and bought a sword the last time I was there. I still have it. It was like $15 for this. I'm like, whatever. He's a really nice guy, so yeah, I still buy stuff from him, and I turned into even better, even cooler stuff in my opinion. But not to diminish his work, he does amazing jobs. But I bought a shield and sword from him when I was like 10. And I had it for years, and the handle was a big handle. It was kind of like this. He had a handle like this, and he had a cutout so you could slide your sword in for decoration or to hang it up when you're done. So I did that. I took the plywood and I made a handle just like that, just didn't put the cutouts. So yeah, there's tips and tricks I got from looking at how the guy worked, and it was really cool. And I got into fights with this thing. My brother has war clubs that are actual war clubs. He made it like an orc club. It's pretty much just a big branch he's got from up north. I believe they're oak because they're really heavy in some cases. Other times they're not, and they have spikes on it because the rot. He's actually crushed stuff with it more efficient than Stormbreaker can crush stuff, and that's saying something because Stormbreaker is the heaviest thing I have. I got into fights with him on that, and he dented the shield 4 or 5 times. He's almost broken it twice. So yeah, there's a part on the laminate, which I'll show you right here. It's actually coming off. You can see the piece chipping. Yeah, that's going halfway around, but there's the paint job. That is only a couple weeks old. You can see that on my Instagram page. While I was painting it, I put pictures up. So yeah, it's pretty much just phthalo green going with the grain, so it soaks in perfectly. And then I pretty much just finger painted metallic mint blue. I think that's what that's called. It was supposed to be the same paint that I was using to paint the Damascus work on Excalibur, but it didn't work out, and I mentioned that in the video. I didn't clarify, but I was trying to use this American Crafts metallic texture paste mint color to try and get the Damascus patterning, but I only tried it because this one worked out perfectly. And the staff, or the snowflake thing you're looking at, it's called the Helm of Awe or the Helm of Terror. And there's an actual story behind it in the Poetic Edda. It's one of the books, or one of the tales, or collection of tales written by Snorri Sturluson. I'm not sure if I butchered his name. I might have. But yeah, the rune staff is called the Helm of Awe, or Helm of Terror, and it came from the Tale of Sigurd, or one of the Tale of Sigurds. He was, in short, tasked with killing the dragon Fofnir, who had all these treasures and rune staves hidden from the world because he was greedy. He was originally a dwarf that killed his... there was some meddling involved with Loki, Odin, and I believe Ur, or Tyr, one of the two. And Loki gave the dwarf king cursed gold. The dwarf king's son, who was stricken by greed from the gold, took it, killed his father, and then ran into the mountains. And then had more treasures hoarded, and he turned into a dragon because he was so greedy. That is the abridged version. Yeah, that's not a real in-depth version of how exactly it happened or what what went down before the cursed gold went, but I know I'm just keeping it short for you guys. So Sigurd is tasked with killing the cursed Fafnir. And he goes in and he hides between the rocks, and Fafnir eventually figures out someone's there, and he walks over the rocks, and Sigurd stabs him right in the stomach, I think, stomach or chest. And he coils back, and for like 10 minutes, he's talking about everything he's done, and he's trying to figure out who Sigurd is. And at one point, he mentions that Helm of Terror will not stop you, or not stop all your enemies, and he's like, I know, it's only meant to blah, 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 blah. He basically explains that the Helm of Terror, when you put it either here, because in helmets they have a nose cover, that's where you would carve it, the snowflake-looking shape. And it's meant to like strike fear into enemies or to freeze them in their tracks. It was kind of a means of protection, kind of a means of power. And the dragon was using it to try and strike fear into everyone that came near him. And Sigurd got all the treasure, and he even got the Helm of Terror. So knowing that story, I thought, hey, it'd be cool to put it on here. You're meant to carve it on metal, which is a whole different topic. I'm not going to get into how I know this rune stab stuff. But I painted it on the wood because I wanted a shield design that I actually knew the meaning of, not just some coat of arms or color. So yeah, the cap in the center is just a cat food lid. You can see the ridges yet? Nope, can't see the ridges. It's a cat food lid, a cat treat lid that I took off, and I spray painted it with a Rust-Oleum hammered finish. So yeah, that's that's pretty much it. It's just a disc, a handle, and then a cat food lid, and then I painted it to whatever I want. You guys can do whatever you want if you want to make this. It's really simple. It's just 2 pieces of wood. It really only took me at most an hour to make from my memory, if I remember it correctly. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe today. Make sure to click that bell icon to receive notifications for every time I upload. The next video, we're going to be talking about my Captain America shield, so have a good one.